name is Ray Brummel. I was the girlfriend of Connor Waterman. Connor and I had been dating for almost 3 years when he was killed. We were planning on getting married maybe this fall, and he even went to the ring store the day before he was shot. Connor was my best friend, favorite person, and the boy I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Connor was one of the only people I could always count on. He knew how to make my bad days better, and it's hard to continue to walk this life without him. Every day, Connor would remind me of all the reasons he loved me. It's been 5 months since his death, and not a day goes by where I don't miss him and the life we had planned. Sometimes it still seems like he is coming back. Everything that Connor did was with the intention to make me happy. He always put my needs before his own. Even though our relationship was not perfect, we really did have a love for each other. Connor worked hard at everything he did, and I knew that one day he was going to be a great husband and father, because at family things, all the little cousins would attach themselves to Connor the entire time. I'll never forget the love that me and Connor had. It will always be a part of me. I miss the feeling of being loved just as much. He loved me with his whole heart. This was evident by the love letters he wrote me. The love in his actions towards me. Yes, there were times where we argued, but at the end of the day, we both realized our weaknesses and prayed that God would continue to bless our relationship. A month before Connor was killed, me and him were driving down the street where this all happened. He looked at me and said, "Ray, I hope that I die first, because I would not be able to live without you." I looked at him, laughed, and said, "Oh, Connor, don't worry about that. We have at least 50 years. There's a lot that we have to do first." A month later, I received the call that he had been shot. Even though I keep showing up to things and laughing and trying to live, every day now is marked by his absence. It is only through God's strength that I can live each day, but at times I hate that this is my reality. Losing Connor has changed me. I'm not the same girl I was when I was with him, and a part of me will not go back to who I was before Connor. I am healing, but that does not mean I am forgetting him. I will carry him with me as I walk the path God has placed in front of me. When I lost Connor, I thought all it was losing him. But it's not. It's also all the secondary losses that I have to endure. All the events and places I have to go for the first time without him. I will never become his wife. I will never travel with him. I will never see him become a father. And I'll never hear his laugh or voice again. I'll never have one last conversation or one last hug. His death is permanent from this earth, and every day I'm faced with the secondary losses. I'm scared I'll forget his face, the way he laughed, he told stories. And I'm scared I will forget the way or his voice, and my memories of him will begin to fade. For me, the reality of grief is feeling so alone. Even though I have a big support system, there's no one I'd rather call than Connor, as I crash out over his death. It's amazing how alone you can feel when everyone's life carries on, and they get to experience the events me and Connor looked forward to. Before Connor died, Sundays were my favorite day of the week, because we got to spend the whole day and attend church. Now, Sundays are the hardest day of the week, and I dread them. I also dread holidays, and I never want to experience another one without him. Since his death, I have been told that I have depression and anxiety. As I journey through the trauma and grief, I often have nervous breakdowns when things get too overwhelming, and often struggle with sleep and brain fog, making simple tasks sometimes hard. There is a level of trauma that I have experienced because I was halfway across the world when it happened. There's a sense of guilt for missing the last week of his life and his last breath on earth. Being so far away, it wasn't until after he had passed that I was able to be back by his side. I'm scared to go on trips, first because I don't want anyone to die while I am away, but also coming back to Connor being gone makes me relive May 10. When anyone mentions guns or alcohol, my entire body tenses up and all I can think about is Connor. I'm scared that at any moment the next closest person to me is going to die. Connor's death has impacted many of my relationships, some good and some negative. One of those relationships that has been impacted is with my family. Not only do they miss him, but they were looking forward to adding a brother and a son to the family. My parents and my siblings have also had to watch their daughter and sister grieve and live with the burden of losing Connor. One of the better impacts is my relationship with Connor's family, the Laudermans. Connor brought them into my life, and I will forever be grateful to him for that. These last couple months, I have grown closer with them. However, it is also bittersweet, as I will never officially be a part of their family. There are many things that we are going to have to navigate in the future, and questions that I don't have the answer to regarding our relationship. They are my second family, and I do not want to lose the relationship I have with them. If I'm honest, there is fear and worry about what the future holds for that. In the beginning, I found myself reaching for my phone to send a text of something interesting that happened, or to give him a phone call. The one person I always wanted to share my day and experience with was no longer on the other end of the phone. I keep thinking how different things would be if Connor was still here and he could experience how much I love and need him during the time I need him most. As for you, Weston, you have seen me being strong and gracious towards you, but with full honesty, I have wrapped my brain around that it was your actions that took Connor's life. Yes, this wasn't God's plan, but we cannot just shrug our shoulders and say this had to happen. It was God's plan. Because yes, even though that is true, God is not the author of sin, and he hates sin. What happened on May 9 was a result of sin. James 1 verse 13 says, "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man." God allowed the devil to tempt you, Weston, that night, but you still actively chose to consume a lot of alcohol. You chose to pick up that gun, and you chose to fire it 7 times into the floor. I know that one day I will be able to look you in the eyes and say, I forgive you. As for now, I continue to work through the process of forgiveness each day. I would be lying if I continued to put on this mask of being strong, but it's really hard to be vulnerable with the person who took Connor from me. To others that don't see my pain, my tears, or me at my lowest, it's because I guard myself to avoid more pain. I trust that whatever happens in the next couple minutes, days, weeks, and months to come, God is guiding each of us, and he will never leave my side, Weston's side, and everyone else's. Thank you, Judge, for allowing me to share.
Thank you. Mr. Medema, anything further?